Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to really understanding the ideas that make a difference.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're jumping straight into something absolutely core to success, that hidden engine.
Yeah, the thing that really powers progress, often behind the scenes. We've looked at some great material on this.
And it really gets to the heart of why some people, well, thrive. And maybe surprisingly, it suggests a certain balance.
A balance between skills, what we can do, and mindset, what we believe.
Exactly. And our source today, let's call it the foundation of achievement, put the figure on it that,
Yeah.
well, it caught my attention.
It's quite something, isn't it? Suggests mindset is the lion's share.
So our mission today, to unpack how our thoughts, our beliefs, really form the bedrock, the foundation for everything else.
Think of it as your quick guide to tapping into that power, ready to dive in.
Let's do it. The source starts with this fantastic image, a tree.
Ah, yes, the tree analogy. It's very effective.
It paints such a clear picture. Skills are like the branches, the leaves, the stuff you see.
Visible, tangible, but the source argues the real strength, the crucial part, is unseen.
There's the roots.
Exactly. The roots are your mindset, your beliefs, your outlook, your inner resilience.
And no matter how impressive the branches look, if those roots are weak,
A storm comes along and the whole thing topples. It's the same for people. Highly skilled, but without that strong inner foundation, they can really struggle.
it really hammers home the point that this mental groundwork is essential.
Absolutely fundamental for achieving anything meaningful.
Okay, so let's get to that statistic you mentioned, the one that kind of flips the script on success.
Right. The source proposes this 80-20 rule.
80-20, how does that break down?
It suggests a staggering 80% of success comes down to mindset.
80%. Wow.
And only 20% is attributed to actual skills or techniques.
That's huge. It really challenges how we usually think about achievement, doesn't it? Focusing just on learning more stuff.
It does. Makes you think back. Have you seen people with maybe less obvious skill, but incredible determination just achieve amazing things? Oh, absolutely. And the source gives a perfect example. Anna and her bakery.
Great story. So Anna, right.
Yeah.
She wanted to open a bakery, passionate about it.
But starting from scratch, yeah.
Pretty much zero resources, no fancy training, no pro equipment. But what she did have was this unwavering belief in herself and just a love for baking.
So she just started.
Started super small, baking for neighbors, simple stuff. But the key, the source points out, wasn't just the cakes.
It was her attitude.
Completely. Her enthusiasm, her absolute conviction she could make it work. That I'll figure it out energy.
And fast forward.
10 years later, multiple successful bakeries, mentoring others now. It's a brilliant example of mindset trumping, or at least compensating for, a lack of initial skills.
It's so relatable. We all know someone like that, driven by sheer willpower.
And the source uses another good analogy here, skills as tools.
Okay, I like that. Our skills are our toolbox?
Yeah, the specific things we learn, the abilities we hone, but, and this is the crucial bit, our mindset is like the hand that uses those tools. Ah, right. So you can have the best tools in the world.
But if the hand holding them is hesitant or unsure or lacks confidence,
They're basically useless, or at least not used effectively.
yeah,
That really nails it.
it does. And then there's the story of James. His job search really shows the practical impact of this.
Tell us about James. He had the qualifications right. On paper, he looked good.
Totally. Good resume, relevant experience, seemed like a nice guy, but 2 years, no job.
2 years. What was going on?
Inside his head, the source says, was this constant loop, I'm not good enough.
Oof, that's tough.
And it showed. In interviews, he'd be hesitant, avoid eye contact. His skills were there, but his lack of belief just overshadowed everything.
So how did he turn it around?
He made a conscious decision, started working on his mindset deliberately.
Oh, what did he do?
Daily affirmations were key, looking in the mirror saying, I am capable, I am worthy, actively building that self-assurance.
Did it work?
Amazingly fast. Within 2 months, he landed a job. And not just any job, a better one than he was even aiming for.
Wow. Same guy, same skills.
Completely different mindset, completely different result. It's such a clear aha moment about the power of belief.
Definitely. And this idea connects to that Brian Tracy quote, the source highlights.
Yeah, focus our conscious mind on things we desire, not things we fear. Simple, but profound.
It's a daily choice, isn't it? Feed the belief or feed the doubt.
One leads forward, the other keeps you stuck. The source really emphasizes that choice.
And to make it even clearer, there's that image of the invisible bridge.
Oh, I love that metaphor.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Explain that one.
Imagine your dream life. Your goal is across this chasm, but there's no visible bridge.
Okay.
The bridge only starts to form, to appear, when you believe you can cross, when you take that first step based on belief.
So waiting until you feel ready.
Means you might wait forever. That feeling of readiness often comes after you start, fueled by belief and action. Belief builds the bridge.
That's a great way to think about it. It's not about waiting, it's about building. And Thors offers a practical tool for shifting thoughts right in the moment, too.
The what if reframe. Super simple, super effective.
How did that work?
So when that fear voice starts, what if I fail? What if they laugh? You consciously flip it.
Flip it how?
Ask a positive what if. Like, what if I succeed spectacularly? Or what if they absolutely love what I do?
So you're redirecting the thought pattern, choosing a different narrative.
Exactly. Instead of, what if I'm not good enough? Try, what if this challenge brings out the best in me?
It's about taking control of that inner conversation.
Yeah.
The source mentions we actually hold a pen, right?
You get to write our own what if story. It's empowering.
And this leads into the idea that we can actually, train our minds.
Yes. The mind as a garden analogy.
Right. Explain that.
Whatever thoughts you consistently plant and water doubts or affirmations, that's what will grow.
So if you're always dwelling on negativity,
You cultivate weeds. But if you intentionally plant seeds of hope, confidence, courage,
you create a fertile ground for your goals to actually blossom. Makes sense.
it's about actively tending that inner garden.
So how do we do that practically? The source gives specific techniques.
4 key ones. First, daily affirmations. Saying positive things about yourself like, I am learning and growing every day, even if it feels awkward at first.
Consistency is key there, I imagine. What's next?
Visualization. Really picturing your success, feeling what it would feel like, creating that mental blueprint.
Okay, affirmations, visualization. What else?
Third is managing your influences, surrounding yourself with positive people, inspiring content, being mindful of whose voices you let in.
Yeah, that's huge. Your environment matters. And the last one.
Avoid toxic input. Consciously limit exposure to things, news, people, social media that consistently drag you down or fuel anxiety. Protect your garden.
Affirmations, visualization, positive influences, avoiding toxicity. Sounds like a solid plan. The source even mentions the author's own struggles, right?
Yeah, a brief personal note about always feeling not quite ready, waiting for that perfect moment that never comes.
Relatable.
Very. And they share that it was only when they started working on their mindset, building that belief bit by bit, that things actually started moving. It makes it feel real, not just theory.
It does. So the big takeaway here is start inside first.
Exactly. Success isn't just about doing stuff outwardly. It starts with belief. It grows in the mind first.
And there's a piece of homework for you listening.
Yes. A really simple, actionable step. Take 3 things you often tell yourself you can't do.
Right.
Rewrite them as I can statements. I can learn this. I can handle this. I can start this.
For me.
Read those new I can statements to yourself every single day for a week. Just plant those first seeds.
A small step onto that invisible bridge we talked about. Now let's talk about fear. It's a big one.
Huge. And the source makes a crucial point. Feeling fear isn't the issue. It's natural.
It's like an alarm system, right?
Exactly. Designed to alert us. The problem is when we let it paralyze us. When we let it stop us from acting.
And there's a story about Elias, the boy who was afraid of water.
Yes, illustrates overcoming fear beautifully. Elias was terrified, convinced he couldn't swim.
So what happened?
The instructor didn't force him, just encouraged one tiny step. Dip a toe in,
Just a toe.
just a toe. Didn't erase the fear instantly, but it started something. A tiny shift. Gradually, step by step, his belief changed. And eventually he learned to swim. And enjoyed it even.
Shows that overcoming fear is often about those small, manageable steps, not giant leaps.
Precisely. Progress, not immediate perfection. And the source contrasts fear with curiosity.
Fear builds walls. Curiosity builds doors. Like that.
It's memorable, isn't it? Fear makes us shrink back, hide behind walls built of what-ifs, often just shadows, not real threats.
But curiosity.
Pulls us forward, opens doors, encourages exploration, new possibilities.
So how do we know if a fear is a real warning or just one of those shadows?
The source gives a direct question to ask yourself. Is this an actual danger right now? Or is this a story I'm telling myself?
That forces you to evaluate it rationally.
Often, just asking that question makes the fear shrink. You realize it's not based on immediate reality.
Bringing it into the light. Speaking of stories we tell ourselves, there's the circus elephant.
Ah, the invisible rope. Such a classic metaphor for limiting beliefs.
Explain it quickly.
Young elephant tied with a rope it can't break. Grows up, becomes strong enough to snap it easily. It doesn't even try.
Because it believes it's still bound.
Exactly. It learned a limitation that's no longer true, and the source says we often do the same thing. We carry around old beliefs, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I'm not creative, that hold us back, even though they might not be true anymore, or maybe never were.
Invisible ropes we tie ourselves with. But the point is, we can untie them.
Absolutely. And our brain plays a key role. The source emphasizes your brain believes what you consistently repeat.
For better or worse, right?
Exactly. Feed it negativity, self-doubt, those pathways get stronger. Feels like reality.
But the flip side.
Is just as powerful. Feed it positive, empowering statements consistently. You start carving out new pathways, new beliefs.
So repeating things like, I am capable, I learn from challenges, I am resilient.
Yes. Even if you don't fully buy it at first, repetition starts to rewire the brain. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work has mentioned how thoughts can literally change our reality.
It's about consciously choosing what we repeat to ourselves.
Mm.
Now, what about really big fears? The ones that feel overwhelming?
There's a structured approach, the fear ladder.
Okay, how does that work?
You break the fear down into 5 small, manageable steps. Start with something easy, gradually work your way up.
Like the public speaking example.
Exactly. Step 1, practice in front of a mirror. Step 2, record yourself. Step 3, speak to one trusted friend. Step 4, small group. Step 5, the actual event.
Each step builds on the last, makes it feel less daunting.
Builds confidence incrementally, takes the overwhelm out of it.
Now, inevitably, when we try new things, we stumble, we fail. How does the source suggest we look at failure?
As essential, as part of learning, not the opposite of success.
Like a baby learning to walk.
Perfect analogy. They fall constantly. We don't call them failures, we cheer them on. We need to recapture that perspective for ourselves. Failure is feedback, data, not a final verdict.
Reframe it as learning. Okay, but sometimes fear feels really strong. How do we push through that?
The source talks about the armor of purpose.
Armor of purpose, what's that?
When your why, your reason for doing something, is incredibly strong, it acts like armor against fear.
Like Carla starting her nonprofit.
Exactly. She had fears, obstacles. But her purpose, helping single mothers, something deeply personal, was stronger. It fueled her past the fear.
So we need to connect with our why.
Yes. Ask yourself, why do I really want this? Who will it help besides me? Connecting to something bigger than yourself is incredibly motivating.
So summing up this section on fear, what are the key takeaways?
Okay. 1, fear is normal but controllable. 2, many fears are just stories, not reality. 3, small steps beat big fears. 4, failure is learning fuel. 5, purpose is your armor.
Got it. Powerful stuff. And there's a nightly exercise suggested.
The fear reflection, 5 minutes before sleep. Identify a fear from the day. Consider the worst case briefly. Then crucially plan one tiny step to face it tomorrow.
Writing it down helps too, right?
Definitely. Builds awareness, and awareness is the first step to change.
And all this reinforces the idea of small, consistent steps.
Hugely. Small bricks build big castles. It's not about massive, unsustainable bursts of effort.
Like the story of Leo and Mark writing their books.
Perfect illustration. Leo, intense writing binges, then burnout, unfinished book. Mark, just 300 words a day, consistently. Finished book.
Consistency wins.
Every time, for long-term goals, it's like climbing a mountain.
One step at a time.
Exactly, not one giant leap. Focus on being a little better than yesterday, not comparing yourself to others. Tony Robbins is quoted. Consistent action shapes our lives.
So how do we build that consistency? The source gives those 5 pillars.
Right, the 5 pillars of daily action. Simple habits. 1, morning intention, set your focus. 2, gratitude, appreciate what you have. 3, learn something new, keep growing. 4, act on one goal, take that small step. 5, evening reflection, review and learn.
Small things, but done daily.
They build incredible momentum, like riding a bike.
The bicycle analogy. Hardest part is starting, getting balance.
But once you get going, momentum helps keep you upright, makes it easier. Same with goals. Daily effort builds that forward motion.
And life throws curveballs. We need to be adaptable, right?
Absolutely. Resilience is key. The source revisits the tree analogy. The flexible tree bends in the storm. The rigid one snaps.
So mindset isn't about avoiding problems, but adapting to them.
Learning, changing course, bouncing back. Like Josh, who lost his job, learned new skills, and found a better path. adapt and grow.
So we have skills, the how, mindset, that keep going. What else?
Purpose the where. The source makes that distinction. Skills are how you move, mindset keeps you moving, but purpose tells you where you're headed.
Without purpose, you can be busy but feel lost.
Exactly. That's why uncovering your why is so important. The source suggests a why map tool to dig into those deeper motivations.
Connecting actions to what truly matters. And ultimately, it all comes back to the inside.
The inner game is the real game. Cultivating things like kindness, perseverance, self-compassion, your internal state, your energy, shapes your external results.
If the inner game is strong, the outer results tend to follow.
That's the core message.
So final reminders as we wrap up.
Don't wait for perfect. You likely have what you need to start now. The key is to start believing, start showing up consistently. Build that better self one day at a time.
So bringing this deep dive home, the overwhelming message from our source is just how incredibly impactful our mindset is. Often overlooked, but truly foundational.
Absolutely, it shapes everything. So we really hope you'll take that homework seriously, rewriting those I can'ts. And think about the tools, the stories. How do they apply to your life, your goals?
Yeah, reflect on that.
Yeah.
And maybe ponder this final question. What's one seemingly small shift in your belief system, just one little tweak that could unlock your next big step forward?
Good question to leave things on. Keep exploring that power within your own mind.